get going on the breakfast here. We're going to cook up some bacon that we thawed out the night before, or at least put in the fridge. All the bacon typically is just stored in the freezer. I did the overnight French toast casserole, which actually is in the oven right now, so I left that in the fridge overnight, and that's in the oven. So we're planning on doing a breakfast around 9:15. Obviously, best thing to do is to talk through with the staff to see what time best works for them. But it's nice. It's something different. Typically we just sit with them. Some of them for lunch. We obviously all sit together for dinner, family style. But this will be kind of fun because we'll get to sit with everyone for a mid Sunday morning breakfast. I'm tired. So
you stayed up late last night.
That's true.
I did a lot of sleeping. I've been feeling pretty poor. I've been coughing, and I have body aches now. But it feels like I'll turn the corner. Hopefully, I can keep my fingers crossed.
So we just finished breakfast,
Powerade,
which was a big success.
Yeah, it was really, really good. Surprisingly.
What do you mean surprisingly?
Oh no, I'm only kidding.
So yeah, breakfast was good. We've got
Well, what do we have for breakfast? Bacon.
bacon, which they saw you cooking.
Yes, bacon's always good.
We did as I mentioned earlier, we did a French toast overnight casserole, which actually was really easy. And I think that if I was here in the winter with a group, I would definitely do that because it's a great breakfast, but it's easy to do in the morning. Like, it's not a whole lot of preparation.
Yeah, well, the day before though, you got a lot to do.
Yeah, you do it the night before and then you go to bed. So it just takes the pressure. Unless you're a morning person and you get up at 3 a.m. to do it. It really doesn't take that long to do, but anyway.
Aren't you just going to bed at 3?
Yeah, 2. Okay, so breakfast we're done with. We are doing a pulled pork in the crock pot, thank you. So I've just been working on that after breakfast, after we cleaned up, and so that's in there now for 8 hours. And we're probably just going to keep it simple tonight with some frozen veg with the pulled pork. Nothing fancy. I think we need an easier day today. Nothing extravagant.
You still have to do dessert though, so we're trying to come up with some ideas for that.
We did banana bread. There happens to be, obviously there's been some leftover bananas and they're in the freezer, so we could pull out some bananas and do a banana bread with some chocolate chips.
We'll have to go to our old trusty recipe book.
One interesting thing, so I found a recipe on YouTube for the pulled pork, and it actually called for Coca-Cola. So obviously we didn't have any Coke, so I went upstairs. Obviously you can do this during the summer if you really choose to. I went upstairs to the State Park food dispensary and bought 2 bottles of Coke, which actually wasn't too expensive, just because it seemed like a good recipe and thought, hey, let's try it. But obviously during the winter that isn't an option, so I'd have to have keep on searching for a different recipe in that case. But other than that, we're good. That's about it.
Yeah. Talked about the Northern Lights last night.
I may have already done that.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember if I did an introduction this morning. If I didn't, then last night we got woken up at about midnight, and Ryan, who's the night observer, came down to let us know that the forecast had increased for the Northern Lights. I can't remember the term for it, but
Aurora Borealis.
no, the term for the measurement of
I don't know.
solar activity. Anyway, so there was increase in solar activity, which meant that the likelihood of us being able to see it was high, except that there were a lot of clouds, and the moon was almost a full moon, and with the continued smoke pollution, the visibility wasn't great. So awesome potential to see Northern Lights, except everything was stacked against us. But nevertheless, we went up there and we got a glimpse of it. I got some photos. I haven't checked how they came out. I put the GoPro up there. I haven't checked that out yet. and Ryan and some of the other observers, almost everyone else woke up and came up there. Some of the others grabbed some photos. One thing they do at the summit is Facebook Live sessions. They do them on Friday evening, and then also on a Saturday morning and Sunday morning. If you've not seen one, go like and follow the observatory Facebook page, and then check out the live feeds on those days. We're just going to watch in on a live session now.
Are we on real camera? Good. Are we on real camera?
Yeah, I think you guys are. Perfect.
Coming to Mount Washington, you're looking right now at our observation deck webcam right there. It's a beautiful start to the morning here. We actually cleared out of the clouds just a little while ago. We'll take a look to our west actually as well and see that we have improving visibility over the last several days, at least when we're not in the clouds, so there's less in the way of some of that smoke, at least at present, that we were seeing working its way all the way from the western part of the country into the northeast here. So all in all, a pretty nice start to the morning, but that might not last actually, so we'll have the details of the forecast ahead in just a second. But first off, we'll bring it inside so we can say good morning to you in person here. So good morning everyone, my name is Tom Padham, I'm a weather observer and meteorologist.
My name is Taylor, I'm also a weather observer up here on this shift.
And so we'll take a look at the forecast ahead. First off, let's take a look at the current summit conditions. If you do have any questions in the meantime, we'd be happy to answer them at the end of the video here. But first off, at least it is a nice start to the day. Once again, 48 degrees, 27-mile-an-hour winds, so fairly light. Those winds are going to be increasing through the day here, and we are expecting some pretty warm weather over the next several days. And with that, I'll hand it off to Taylor, who's going to take a look at the forecast ahead really for the week.
Hey guys, just bear with me for a second while we transition over to the camera here. Right now we're looking at the GFS. This is the 6-hour average precip. And so basically right now we have cleared out of the clouds. There's not much overhead. We won't really see too much of a chance for precipitation over the next day or so. That does change as we get into Monday. So this is early Monday morning now. There's a chance for some showers crossing the region. There's a little bit of instability that's going to be part of a glancing cold front that we're going to see. And then high pressure is really going to dominate for the start of the week. Once we get into Tuesday and a little bit further towards Wednesday there, that hot air that I'm going to mention a little bit in a moment or two is going to give way because there's a cold front moving through, and that's really going to drop temperatures and humidity levels as well towards the end of the week there. So that's going to bring us back into alignment with sort of seasonal norms, if you will. Let's just look at the 3K NAM model. This is a little bit higher resolution, and it's great for those convective pop-up showers. So as I advance through the day today, really see not much in the way of precipitation. However, now that we're moving overnight tonight, a little bit of that instability is shown with these pop-up showers, and even possibly some embedded thunderstorms down we see here in southern Vermont, and then also up in northern New Hampshire here into Canada. That moves through over the course of the night here, and then tomorrow we have a chance for some spotty showers for the day there. Nothing too much in the way of accumulation, and at this point of the summer we're looking at all rain still for the higher elevations here. However, in the long-term models, that will start to change soon as we head into the fall and winter seasons. Just want to touch on the temperatures here. So this is the 850 air temperature. This is roughly 5,000 feet. We are in a pretty warm air mass right now, and as we head into the early week here, it's only going to get warmer, unfortunately. Harkening back to those warm days of July that we had that we couldn't quite seem to get rid of. As I step through time here, you see this orange here corresponds to roughly 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. That's in the 60s actually, and so over the next few days we will be taking a stab at some daily high records. So tomorrow our high record is 66 degrees, and we're forecast to get to about 61 or 62, and that kind of continues into Tuesday and Wednesday there, with our best chance as I move forward here, as you see this density of orange increasing, the best chance that record high breaking will be on Wednesday with our forecasted high of 64 degrees. Then as that cold front moves through, you can actually see it pretty well delineated here with these greens indicating much colder temperatures. This is now early Thursday morning. That cold front pushes through. We will see winds increase as that front pushes through, and then behind that we're going to see much cooler temperatures for the end of the week. Cool and dry, and hopefully it will provide a little bit of easing to some of that smoke that's been in the air as well. Just to bring things down to the surface level, since most of you probably aren't at 6,000 feet right now, as we move through the day today, you can see a return of very red and even some purple temperatures on the east coast here. Highs tomorrow in the southern New Hampshire area will be approaching 90, and then actually you see down even in Massachusetts here we're seeing low 90s, and that'll increase as we get through into Tuesday and then Wednesday there. So you can see here, this is Tuesday afternoon highs in the mid-90s. Heat indexes will be around 100, so it's going to be very warm. Definitely take caution if you're going out hiking or exercising at all, as it will be a bit warm and also fairly hazy with all that smoke from wildfires there. I did mention winds will be increasing with that cold front passage. That's really the only interesting thing in terms of winds over the next 4 days or so. You can see here winds are about 20 or so miles an hour if the computer lets me step forward in time, we'll take a look at how that progresses through the week here. So here we go. Now we're early Monday, and you can sort of see a short little burst, if you will, of higher winds. Still nothing too extreme, but it is indicating that we are sort of switching out of that summer pattern where we'll see more frequent bursts of higher wind speeds. This is now Wednesday, so right ahead of that frontal passage, you see winds picking up a bit, around 40 knots or so. We could see gusts into the 60 mile per hour range, so a bit windy, and that will be again before that front, and this is that cold front passage that we see on early Thursday, late Wednesday. The timing of that is still a little bit uncertain. There's a few things that kind of can impact that timing, so definitely stay tuned to our Higher Summits forecast as that date gets closer if you're looking for any travel advice. And just because the GFS is a bit more broad-scale model, I just want to take a look at the 3K North American mesoscale model to look at the winds. It does a better job of capturing the terrain up in New Hampshire here. So again, we can't quite get all the way out to Wednesday there, but you can see a little bit of enhancement in the mountain region here. It is just an indication that we really do kind of amplify some of the winds that pass our way. And so while conditions might be nice in the valleys, we can see increased winds, especially with any frontal passages there. So let's see how far out we can work here, and we're getting now into midday Tuesday. See winds on the increase slightly, and that's about where this model ends. The higher resolution models unfortunately don't go out as far in time. However, winds will be picking up Wednesday, and that's definitely something to keep an eye on. Just because it's been on everyone's minds, I wanted to show a forecast smoke map. So this will be impacting air quality, especially tomorrow and into Tuesday. Right today, actually, summits and valleys are both rated at moderate air quality. And unfortunately, that's not something that's going to abate until that cold front really pushes through midweek there. you want any additional details on the forecast, I encourage you to check out mountwashington.org. You can do /forecast there, and it'll bring you right to the Higher Summits forecast page, which is what we're looking at right now. This is updated twice daily, once at around 5 in the morning by our night meteorologist, Ryan, and then also in the afternoon. This contains a synoptic discussion, so that is this big paragraph up top here. It's pretty similar to what we just went through right now, and then it breaks it up into 12-hour blocks here for the next 48 hours. So you can see that Ryan did have highs today in the mid-50s. Tomorrow that increases to the lower 60s, and that's really when we start to see that influx of warm air. We do have an afternoon chance of thunderstorms both days really, with a bit more clearing tomorrow. Anyway, we'll bring it back inside now, and hopefully you guys have left us some great questions that we can answer before we wrap up this broadcast for the week here.
Has Marty been outside at all this summer?
Yeah, Marty actually really enjoys going outside. He typically prefers the nighttime because there's fewer people up here, but he is quite good pals with our night observer and will usually beg to be let outside pretty much any night that it's relatively calm out.
Obviously, this is a bit far out and the models tend to diverge, but do you have any additional preliminary thoughts on Labor Day weekend?
Not really, actually. So we focus mostly on a 48-hour Higher Summits forecast here. So I personally looked at some of the longer range GFS stuff and or GFS models, I should say, but it looked like Friday was looking pretty good, at least to start the weekend there, with a pretty strong high pressure really centering over the northeast after that stronger cold front comes through Wednesday, Thursday. But beyond that, we could see a return of maybe some showers and thunderstorms by the tail end of the weekend, as far as just a broad forecast there for you.
How many interns and volunteers are on the summit today?
We have 2 interns, and actually maybe this is a great point to introduce Chloe. So we have a new fall intern here, Chloe. So if you want to say a little about yourself?
Hi, I'm Chloe. I'm the new fall intern. I'm originally from Lexington, Massachusetts. I just graduated from school in Maine with a degree in physics and math. I think I first got interested in the weather actually hiking in the White Mountains with my family as a kid. Got to see some pretty cool weather, especially when up in the Alpine zone. Got to see how fast the weather can change up here. Kind of piqued my interest. And yeah, I'm excited to be here this fall, and especially excited to see some snow when that comes around.
We all are, I would say. And actually, Griffin, I'm going to put you on the spot too. Would you mind stepping in and maybe just saying a little bit about what you've done this summer season too?
Yeah, sure. So I've had the opportunity to be here for now 7 weeks. It's really been phenomenal, and I've had the opportunity to help out the observatory with the afternoon forecasts, with the morning hot calls. I got to do some summit research, and really just got to see up close the work of the observatory, and it's really been a great experience, and I'm very grateful to have been up here.
We're really grateful for all the hard work that you've done too. So thanks so much, Griffin. This is actually his last week on the summit. So transition of the season here, really starting the fall internship basically, and that fall season. Do we have any other questions there?
What is the status of the kind of mild drought that's been plaguing the Northeast for much of the summer?
I don't believe we're actually in a drought, or we're right about average for this time of year now. We had a pretty rainy past couple weeks at least, and we picked up almost an inch of rain on Wednesday into Thursday as well. So we're in a pretty good spot right now, at least as far as the White Mountain region goes. That may not be the case as you head a little bit further south especially. All right, well, thanks so much for connecting. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do have any questions after the video, we'd be happy to answer them as time allows for us. But otherwise, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll have our next video on Friday evening with the crew of Adam, Chris, excuse me, and Ian there. So look forward to that as well. Thanks so much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Take care.
Take care.
So that's the end of another day, the end of day 5. Wasn't too bad today. We did we did the forecourt for dinner. We tried to bake some more of the dough that was left over that we kept in the fridge. I think it's fair to say that was our first disaster of the week. The dough just, I think to be honest, the bread we made was more like a baseball bat. So, you know, not too bad. We got this far. We got to day 5 with only a small issue. So the dinner tonight consisted of pulled pork, which turned out great, and baked beans, and then we had banana bread with chocolate chips for dessert. I think we slightly underestimated the amount of meat. The weight of the meat seemed right, but once it had cooked off, there was enough for everyone, but we didn't really end up with any significant leftovers, so we probably could have done with some more. The downside would have been if we cooked the 2 lots of pork we had, we would have had way too much. And I don't even think the leftovers at that point would have been eaten. So it's definitely a balancing act. I think so far we've done pretty well at estimating how much food we need and leaving sufficient leftovers, or rather not cooking enough, which is obviously the worst case. And I think a lot of that just comes from experience. And what else? I think that was about it. Yeah, otherwise everyone seemed happy. Tomorrow is day 6 and it's Monday, and I think things start to revolve around preparing for the shift change on Wednesday. So, yep, all good. Have a good one.